This is Facilities Jeopardy! Please welcome today's contestants, Roger Basinski, Pam Elliot Cain, and last but not least, Sherry Tone.
I'm going to go to Pam now for Move Over, I'm Crowded. So this is about space utilization. And Pam, the $100 question. The only constituent group where growth in enrollment significantly outpaces, and I've used the word significantly, outpaces growth in space. Constituent group I mean by type of institution within NACUBO. So small institutions, research, comprehensive, et cetera.
Well, given our profile, we've had record enrollment. So I'm thinking, Jim, what is public universities?
Public research universities is the correct answer. And if we take a look at the data here, comprehensive universities actually have, this is the blue bar is the space growth, and the line chart since 2007 is the enrollment growth. So you can see comprehensives have a little more enrollment than space, but look at how their enrollment's starting to dive off, and many of you are experiencing this, particularly if you're in the Northeast or the central part of the United States. Research institutions have been growing very rapidly and not growing space as much, and smaller institutions, interestingly enough, actually are growing space faster than enrollment, and many of them are struggling for enrollment, and one of the questions is, you know, what's the strategy here, and is it going to work over time? But I want to get back to Pam about, you mentioned Iowa State, and I want to show you a graphic that shows that Iowa State here has increased their enrollment by 20% since 2007, but only increased their square footage by 3%. So when you say move over, I'm crowded, it must be true at Iowa State. So you could tell us a little bit about what you're doing to cope with this situation.
Well, we're using a lot of data, and we're trying to optimize our space as best possible. It still seems like faculty members don't want to use the 8 o'clock in the morning, the 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, Fridays, yeah, but when you have Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, they'll still schedule it for Friday, but they may not show up. So we're trying to track all that, and then we've got different components for the sizes of the class, and we're trying to measure efficiency of the use of space. So if we have about 41 classrooms that are under the 100 seat capacity, and so we measure seat capacity. We measure trying to make sure we have the right classes in the right rooms. For those that are over 100, we have about 29 classrooms. But we still go through a process to do a lot of the analysis and say, well, you know, you really have to use these classrooms at 8 o'clock on Monday morning and 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon. And we have some peaks, too, at noontime, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. For whatever reason, we don't have usage there. But we're trying to make sure that if they want the right classrooms, they'll go through and we have them categorized so that if they need some sort of studio-type thing or they need the technology in the rooms are all different. They're not all consistent.
Good. So that leads us to our $500 question. You just gave me right down to the $500 question. Studies show that this percentage of teaching space is used at any given time during the school day, and by school day, we're talking 8 to 5. So plus or minus 5%. You get a little leeway here. So tell us what you think the studies show as the percentage of teaching space that's being used.
Well, I know ours is at 67% because of our enrollment, but what is about half?
That'd be correct. 50% is, in fact, the correct answer. National studies, if you take a look at the next graphic, shows that this is the studies that we've done over a number of institutions, and you can see early morning, about 60% of the rooms are actually used, dips down at noontime, about on average over the day it's about 50%, and take a look how it drops off at about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon and just starts dropping off throughout the day. So a lot of campuses that are only using half of their classrooms, this is classroom utilization, have a lot of room to be able to manage that better. So let's go to the $1,000 question. These strategies, and this is, by the way, a multiple choice question, and there can be more than one right answer. Can be more than one right answer. These strategies have proven effective to increase utilization of campus space. Is it A, increase your enrollment faster than you build new space? B, enable cross-department scheduling of classrooms? C, remove high-need, low-utilized buildings? Or D, attract other uses for building space like retail, rental, small business incubators? So it can be, you tell us, which of those strategies do you think are most effective?
Okay, I'm going to the audience for help. How many think it's A? Ooh, yes. Oh, what about B, enable cross-departmental scheduling of classes? Cool, that's a winner. What about C, remove high-need, low-utilized buildings? And D, attract other uses, especially in tax-exempt buildings. One guy.
Okay. Well, actually,
All right, well,
what do you
can
think?
can I ask the question then?
Go ahead.
What is B?
Well, B would be one of the right answers, but actually we found that all 4 of these strategies have proven effective. That in fact, people are increasing their enrollment.
Not fair. Trick
and
question.
we'll
She
do-
couldn't get it wrong.
that removing high-need, low-utilized buildings so they increase the density and use of the campus, and even bringing in the other spaces when they can't have classrooms there. So it's actually all of the above. So, so what have we learned on here? Well, you know, a campus physical plant is, for the vast majority of institutions, its largest asset, right? In many cases, it's 2 to 3 times the average of their endowment, 2 to 3 times. So it's also one of the largest costs of operating a college campus. So at times of uncertain enrollment and uncertain financial health, it's important to make sure we control that operating budget and make sure we've got high utilization of space. And improving utilization of teaching space, getting rid of small, underutilized buildings, even selling off or monetizing or using your assets for other reasons, other purposes, can in fact be part of the strategy to improve utilization and reduce your overhead, overall overhead. So, great.